Hi, I'm Jeff Toyster, and today I'm going to show you how to use a very simple planning tool to prepare for your next workshop. This works whether you're the training participant, that participant supervisor, the trainer who's facilitating the program, or even an external stakeholder. Now, what this worksheet will ask you to do is address 3 of the common causes for poor performance after training. It's going to focus on expected outcomes or goals. It's going to help you prepare for the training adequately and also create an action plan to implement what was learned after training. If you do those 3 things, you'll probably be very successful. So we're going to use an example today, a customer service training workshop for a call center. So I'll add the name of the program or the type of program in the box that says workshop. The next step is actually to go to expected outcomes. In other words, define your goal for the training. And in this case, we'd like to improve our customer satisfaction score. So we're going to try to shoot for a 90% score on the quarter 4 or Q4 customer satisfaction survey. The next step is to look at where we are now. So you can see we scored 80% on the last customer satisfaction survey. So our gap is that 10%, moving from 80% to 90%, and that brings us to the middle here. What are the causes for the gap? Well, if we look closely in this example, let's say we found 2 causes. One skill-based and the other is more process or procedurally based. So in this instance, we'll say the skill base is our customer service reps don't have skills that are adequate to handle really upset customers. So that's decreasing our score. But those customers are probably getting upset because we've rolled out a new procedure that isn't working too well. So in preparing for this training, I want to focus the training on those skills that are going to make the biggest difference, but I also want to fix that procedure so we can help our customer service reps be a little bit more successful. You may notice in the box here that there are these percentages. What these represent are average learning impacts for a training program. In other words, 26% of learning comes from adequate preparation before the training, 24% of learning comes from good training or a good learning event itself, and the full 50% of learning on average comes from what we do after the training. And intuitively that should make sense. We only know if the training was successful when people go back to work and implement those new skills. So let's start by doing some planning and think about what we want our participant, that participant supervisor, and that trainer to do before the class begins. Okay, so for preparation, we're going to ask all of our participants to set a personal learning goal so they're really focused on what they want to learn from the training. We're going to ask the participant supervisor to communicate the purpose of the training to the participants and help participants set a personal learning goal. And the trainer, we're going to ask the trainer to collect examples of the types of problems that are creating some customer dissatisfaction. And the reason for doing this is so that they can be integrated into the training and make the training a little bit more realistic and relevant. Well, now let's talk about expectations for each group during the training. In this case, we've asked participants to arrive, participate with an open mind. We're going to ask supervisors to provide scheduling coverage that's adequate for participants to be able to leave their normal responsibilities and attend the training. And the trainer, we're going to ask that person to integrate those live examples that they came up with and facilitate a lively workshop that really focuses on the real workplace issue that might be leading to some customer dissatisfaction. Okay, now it's time to start thinking about what do we want people to do after training so they can implement what they've learned. In this case, we're going to ask the participants simply to go back and implement the new skills they learn in training. The supervisor, though, is going to play a very important role. When we learn new skills, we don't always do it 100% correctly the first time. We need a little support, encouragement, some direction. So we're going to ask supervisors to be on the lookout for those new skills and to coach the participants to help them continue to develop. And finally, the trainer, we're going to ask the trainer to provide the supervisor with some tools to help them work with their participants. Maybe an observation guide or a coaching checklist or even a meeting planner to help them continuously discuss the skills that were learned in training. And you can see we now have a really nice plan for getting the most out of training, but more importantly, increasing our customer satisfaction to reach that 90% goal.